In this video, we'll be talking about natal moon in Libra in the 12th house and what this placement means when it is in the natal chart. So if you have this placement, you are in the right place. And let's go ahead and get started. What the moon represents in astrology is it represents emotional needs and what we depend on for security on an emotional level. And it's also a resource that we depend on in order to sustain ourselves. And it rules the 4th house in the sign Cancer, which is about our upbringing, our family, and it's about the mother figure and how we were nurtured. But it also shows things that we attract to ourselves too, because the moon is a magnetic planet in the birth chart. It is something that we attract. And so anyways, when the moon is in the 12th house in Libra, first of all, this shows somebody that needs for others to reason with their perception of things. And they just have a need for other people to see things the same way as they do. And that's because the 12th house is about our perception, our imagination, and our assumptions and subconscious beliefs. And so when the moon is here in Libra, which is about relationships to others or the perception of others, these people need for other people to see their perception. Secondly, this can make relationships like cloudy or like muddy on an emotional level. You know, it could be unclear when it comes to the reasons behind the explanations that these people have for their perception. And a lot of times this can come from a manipulative ability that they have and just a good understanding of psychology, gaslighting. You know, people that have this placement, they sometimes can have less than ideal reasoning to when it comes to their perception, but the thing is they're able to convince others to believe their way of seeing things. And that's because the natural sign that has the 12th house in Libra is Scorpio. So this is a Scorpio type placement when you have the moon in the 12th house in Libra. This is the ability to make other people agree with your perception of things. And with that ability comes great power. So that is the first thing. And Scorpio is the sign of power, and that is the sign that has the 12th house in Libra. Now, this placement also shows somebody that likes to depend on others and to share interpersonal responsibility with other people. Because again, the moon shows our needs and what gives us comfort. And it's also about emotions. So these people like to share emotional baggage with somebody else or like to go to others for answers or for help. And they like to be able to depend on somebody loyal or depend on a relationship to somebody in order to emotionally sustain themselves. And when the moon from this point of view is in the 12th house, which is all about secrets and things that are subconscious or hidden, this shows somebody that sometimes sugarcoats or hides their needs. So like these individuals, they may feel vulnerable to opening up their emotions, and so they may hide their true needs from others. But at the same time, they do need for the presence of other people to feel secure, and also they need like somebody to share their emotional baggage with or to share responsibility with in life. And they go to others for help and for their needs. But anyways, as I was saying, there's a tendency though to hide their true needs or to sugarcoat them. So there could be a manipulative or like a cloudy effect to these people's relationships. Now, secondly, since the 12th house is about the subconscious, sometimes these individuals' emotions can be subconscious to them. Like they can be unaware of their true needs. But nonetheless, their true needs get expressed through their actions and through manipulation subconsciously. Now, it's not always going to be through manipulation, but sometimes it can be them being taken advantage of or them being manipulated because of their empathy or their qualities of being generous. It can be either way. But like I was saying, there can be a lack of clarity when it comes to their needs. And this is a very subtle and subconscious thing about them. And so if you have this placement too, like this could be something that is very subtle and very subconscious to you, but for the most part, like your emotions are more vague to you. Anyways, as I was saying earlier, these people need others to adapt to them or to their perception of things. And the 12th house is about victimhood. So victimhood and blame could be a big part of their relationships. A big theme that they constantly have to face. And this could be a karmic lesson that they are exploring in this lifetime, or that they are forced to learn more about, is through a theme of victimhood and blaming, learning about responsibility. Who is responsible, and the ultimate lesson is always self-responsibility. Taking responsibility for our own situations and how we feel is how we gain control over our narrative. So with that being said, as I was saying, the 12th house is about victimhood. It's about things that are vague or unclear, and a lot of times the reasoning or the logic behind the relationship will be unclear when it comes to relationships with these people, because they are more vague and they tend to hide their needs. They don't reveal them directly because they are more secretive. This is an aspect of Scorpios in general. So things will automatically be vague and be left to interpretation a lot of times. But anyways, as I was saying, there's a big theme of needing somebody to be your savior or to be your guardian angel. Being helped, being a victim. Or this could be something that you deal with from somebody else. When it comes to how you relate to others. And I'm bringing all this up because Libra is the sign of relationships. So when you have such a big placement in Libra, relationships become a big part of the experience. So anyways, this could also be relationships to friends. It doesn't always have to be just romantic. In the way that we always think of, we always tend to think of relationships as romantic. But anyways, so finally, this shows somebody that needs emotional forms of compassion or self-sacrifice in their relationships, because the 12th house is about compassion. So they best get along with people that are generous or self-sacrificing or compassionate, because those people don't tend to ask too many questions when it comes to the other person's emotions. They just tend to adapt and try to provide for the person's needs. So anyways, that is just a random trait of this placement as well. And finally, since the moon in Libra is about interdependence, when it is in the 12th house, this can show somebody that unconsciously or like subconsciously creates forms of interdependency. So like situations where it's not what it seems at the surface, but like subconsciously they create dependence on somebody else, or somebody starts to depend on them. This could be a big theme of the person's life that has this placement. And this comes from being emotionally secretive or subconscious or unconscious. Not being aware of one's needs or not expressing them, but yet needing to rely on others or for other people to help you or for other people to see your perception or your needs. So I feel like that basically summarizes what I wanted to talk about for this particular placement. It's very fascinating and unique as a placement. There's no other Libra moon placement that has these kind of themes or this kind of like message behind it. So definitely let me know how that resonated, and if you enjoyed and you saw yourself or others in this video in any way, then don't forget to leave a like and comment how. Let us know in the comments. For those of us that are also watching that have this placement, I'm sure that they will find a benefit from that. And then secondly, don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you'd like to see more content. And if you'd like a natal chart reading, the link is in the description to my Patreon, where I make a reading for each of my patrons. And I also have my email in the description if you'd like to contact me and book a reading that way. So definitely check those out if that interests you. And with that being said, I appreciate you guys watching and supporting in any way that you do. And I'll talk to you guys sometime soon in another video. Peace.